For this week's show, Miss Blaney will have a district update. Dr. John Clinton will be here to talk about the boys next door. And Miss Kramer will have an opening doors on district directions. Stay tuned. Kindergartners, or parents of anyway, Miss Blaney has some special news for you pertaining to the kindergarten roundup and enrollment next year for 97. So let's take a look with Miss Blaney's district update.
Good evening. The Assistance League of Norman and Norman Public Schools will hold Kindergarten Roundup on Wednesday, May 7th from 8 a.m. in the morning to 7 p.m. at each elementary school site. Coordinating the Kindergarten Roundup for the Assistance League is Diana Williams, assisted by Pat Nolan, Director of Student Services for the Norman Public Schools. Parents or guardians need to complete enrollment at the school the child will attend. Enrollment will also be held for students who are currently attending a private kindergarten and wish to enroll in the first grade. The first day of school is most important to our students. By having Kindergarten Roundup, we are more prepared to serve the students when they come to school in August, Pat Nolan said. We deeply appreciate the Assistance League of Norman for this service. Children must be 5 years of age on or before September 1st, 1997 to enroll. An official state birth certificate and current immunization records must be presented at the time of enrollment. Immunization requirements include 5 doses of DTP or a combination of DTP and DTaP vaccines totaling 5 doses unless the 4th DTP was received after the 4th birthday. 2 MMR vaccinations and 4 doses of the polio vaccine unless the 3rd dose was received after the 4th birthday. Effective with the fall of 1998 semester, all students entering kindergarten or first grade without kindergarten must provide documentation of having received 3 doses of hepatitis B vaccine. Hepatitis B vaccine is now routinely recommended for all children beginning in infancy. Cleveland County Health Department and Rotary International are sponsoring an immunization clinic on Saturday, April 26 from 12 noon to 4 p.m. at Center Fashion Mall. These immunizations are free to the public. Our regular school board meeting is Monday evening, April 21st at 7 p.m. at the Administrative Services Center. During the meeting, Sandy Bayhan, Central Mid-High Social Studies teacher and host of Capital Ideas, and Robert Kidd, Eisenhower music teacher, were recognized at the meeting for their recent honor. They were named Elementary and Secondary Educators of the Year by the Oklahoma Foundation for Excellence and was presented the awards at their banquet this past weekend at the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Norman High's 3 academic All-Staters were also recognized at the same banquet. The board congratulated Carrie Kane, Jeremy Mullins, and Hillary Reeser. The entire board report will be presented in next week's update. We want to extend congratulations again to Gary Kramer, Director of the Video Studio, and Fred Avery, Studio Manager, for being named Partners for Excellence Award winners by the Oklahoma School Public Relations Association. This prestigious award is a statewide award and was presented on Friday, April 11th at the annual OKSPR Spring Conference at Western Hills. The award is given to educators who make worthwhile contributions to excellence in education. Gary Kramer and Bill McCullough won an award also for their video Forever Norman High in the Publications Contest. We are very proud of the Video Resource Studio and Gary and Fred and Bill. They are most deserving of these awards. We compliment and thank them for their contributions to Norman and to the students of this fine school system. The PR department won 2 awards in the Publications Contest, one for the Focus newsletter and the other award for the 1996-97 profile brochure. The Norman Public School Foundation approved allocating grant monies for spring grants to classroom teachers at its annual meeting on April 17th. The foundation will be giving out $15,964.78 in regular grants and $1,580 in staff development grants to teachers and administrators in the next week. This brings our grand total to 666 grants awarded for a total amount of $253,767.70. This includes classroom grants and staff development grants. Our annual fund drive is now underway. If you want to give money for the 1997 drive, please send your donation in care of the Norman Public School Foundation, 131 South Flood, Norman, Oklahoma, 73069. If you have any questions about the foundation, please feel free to call my office at 366-5961. For Norman Public Schools, I'm Connie Blaney.
The Boys Next Door is a play being put on by the students of Norman High. Dr. John Clinton is here with Mr. Randy Hemphill, the director of The Boys Next Door. So let's take a look.
Welcome to Focus on the Fine Arts. I'm John Clinton, Director of Fine Arts for the public schools here in Norman. I'm really pleased today to have a stalwart member of our community as well as a stalwart member of the Norman Public Schools faculty, the drama and theater teacher at Norman High School, Mr. Randy Hemphill. Randy, welcome.
It's nice to be here.
Glad to have you here, and especially at this time of year where I don't know how your mind is focusing in on anything at all. Let me think if I can go through some of these things. Just as an aside, you're working on your master's right now.
Correct.
So that you get to do that between about 7 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So there, and of course on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays.
Correct.
You do that. You are in rehearsal and you're building scenery right now, I know,
Correct,
for your
yeah.
play. You've just returned from state competition.
Yes.
With the theater and speech people. There are some kids who are getting prepared for nationals
Mm-hmm.
that are going to come up in June. You just got a couple of things going on, and I failed to mention the fact that you do teach a full load also.
Yes.
You know, all day long. So you've got a few things going on.
Yeah, I try to keep busy, you know. The theater's a busy activity
Yes, it
anyway.
is.
And we have a real strong student support in theater, speech, and debate. And it's a real joy to work with kids who are wanting to do things. The more you do, the more you get done. And I would like to think that helps to put Norman on the map.
Yeah. And the more you do, the more you get to do too.
That's correct.
You know, it puts you in places which not everybody gets the chance. They always wonder why they don't get the chance to do that. Mainly, if I remember correctly, it's because they've got to do the good work to that point.
Yeah.
And you guys really have done good work. Let's first of all talk about your play coming up. Tell me what the title of the play is.
Well, it's called Boys Next Door, and it's an award-winning play. It had done time on Broadway, and it's about a counselor working in a halfway house of sorts for men who are mentally retarded, and how they interact with each other, how they interact with the counselor, and how they interact with society outside of this group home. And it focuses mainly on the counselor and how he has to wrestle with the burnout problem. In fact, it kind of reminds me of a busy teacher. They have a lot of the same symptoms. And so it's a wonderful play that has a lot of drama in it and a lot of really funny moments. And it's really an honest piece of literature, and I think everybody would really enjoy this play.
You know, I really think they will also. And as you were describing it, typically for me, I don't remember titles very well, but I've seen that play 3 times. Once was a TV adaptation
Correct.
of it, which was very good, I thought. I've seen it here in Norman once before, several years ago, and I was very fortunate on a quirk that I happened to be in New York, which is very unusual for me,
Yeah.
and I saw it on Broadway, and I would pay to see it again.
Great.
And
We'll
I
even
would
let
pay
you
to see
in
it.
free.
I appreciate that. It is one of the unique plays in our lifetimes, because it really does take a wide variety of characters
Correct.
and people who are in a halfway place. Can you just very briefly describe some of these characters and what their specific needs and problems are?
We have a range of characters that are mentally retarded, and then we have one character that's schizophrenic, and then of course there's the counselor, and he's going through his own demons. In fact,
Yes.
the highest burnout rate is among people who work with the mentally retarded, the mentally disabled. And it's interesting watching him wrestle that character. I have fine actors playing these roles. They're doing a lot of research. They're doing a lot of observation. It's a very sensitive play about how these people are a part of our society, and the kids are really rising to the occasion and understand the importance of what the play has to say. And it's wonderful to watch their commitment to their characters and to the script.
Because these characters also have great comedy about them.
Oh, there's hilarious moments.
It really is one of the most interesting plays in terms of not treating people as if they are mentally disabled, but how can we move them forward into our society.
Correct.
And all of the problems that go along with that sort of move. So it's a very difficult thing. Do you remember some of the cast members and
yes.
who were playing in there?
Some of the cast members is Michael Jordan is playing the part of Jack. He's the counselor and does a wonderful job. And I have several new actors to the stage. James Harrell is playing Lucian. Adam Beatty is playing Norman. Sean Chesley is playing Arnold.
Great.
Laura Klarbra, who's done other work on stage before, is playing Sheila. A veteran of the stage, Lexi Carricker, is playing an additional role. I know I'm going to forget some cast members, and they're going to remind me of this. But
while you're thinking about that, you have this cast, but you also have lots of people who are involved in that production. You have technical people and all the folks who are backstage. Tell me about what they're all up to back there.
Actively, well, I have 3 light people. I have the person running the light. It's a very technical show. In fact, in many ways, it's more technical than a musical, I've come to find out, because we have so many light cues, and it depends on some real special lighting. So you're going to get to see some interesting lighting going on at the same time. Props is an infinite amount of props. We cannot seem to find and have enough props because it's a daily thing, and people deal with, have different objects in their lives they have to deal with. Costumes are relatively simple. That's the one simple part. The set's fairly large. In all, I have actively working technically during the show. I probably have as many tech people as I do actors, so close to a dozen tech people working. And then the crew that builds the set is an additional 25 students.
Incredible.
So the tech's larger than the actor.
And every one of them have to work together.
Oh, yes.
Or the whole of the scene is not appropriate.
It's a team effort all the way around.
You know,
and it's wonderful to watch that work.
You guys do so many good things with this.
Thank you.
We have just recently talked to some students who are going to the Nationals. And you have, Dr. Ballard has 2 or 3 students who are going in extemporaneous work, domestic and foreign, and you have 2 or 3 or 4 students who are going also in theater. I know that you and Betsy and Dana actually collaborate and do all this together, which is fantastic. Tell me about your students who are going to Nationals. What can they expect up there? Do you have any idea what they can expect?
I've never gone to Nationals because I always want my students, I don't want to have to spend money on me to get students to Nationals, and so I always let them go, but I do have a sense of what is going on up there, and it's a grueling contest because they will compete at least 9 times just to get into a semifinal round. And so it's a demanding thing. It's as much about stamina as it is talent, I believe, at a certain stage. But our students are geared for that, and they're well coached by my cohorts, Mrs. Hemphill and Dr. Ballard. I also try to help them as much as possible, getting them prepared mentally and with the piece itself. I'm real proud of them. I had this scene picked out, Careless Love, for the duo, and then Dr. Ballard picked out the dramatic interp, and so these pieces are pretty special to us, and it's nice to see that they've made it to Nationals.
That's just wonderful. What a treat. And you mentioned earlier in the show that you work hard and the students work hard for their own sake, of course, and for learning, but also because Norman is a very special place for the fine arts.
Correct.
And it's a very special place for theater, speech, and debate. Yet that information struggles to get out.
It seems to.
You know, and I don't know exactly why. Do you have any thoughts about why that's difficult for the population to know what a special group we have here?
Well, you know, it's a hard question to answer. It really is. I think that we just need to make them more aware and inform them more. But we're doing a wonderful job with Channel 29, for example. I've heard many comments about that from friends that aren't even related to education, and they go, oh, you're doing a play, you're doing this. But I think that's growing to a certain extent. I think people become more and more aware of it. Our musical sells out just about every year.
Yes.
We bring a fantastic number of people to the plays, and our community theater seems to be thriving.
Yes.
So I think there's a pretty good core, but I would like to expand it to everybody so they could enjoy seeing what people do.
One of the things that's going to help expand that, I think, and you'll tell me if I'm wrong, I hope, and that is that with the 2 high schools coming in next year, and both schools having 9 through 12, and with you and Betsy and Dana still being here at Norman High School, and Jim Ryan and Vicki DeRoe being at Norman High School North, tell me what that means to you. Does that worry you half to death, or oh my goodness, what's going to happen, or is this something that's going to be a positive for the faculty to be able to work with these students?
Well, I think it's going to be positive in the sense that we get to work with them from freshmen through seniors, and that'll be nice to establish a philosophy, a work ethic, and not that they didn't do wonderfully in both the mid-highs.
Right.
But it was a transition for them that many of the students weren't able to make, and now that they will not have to worry about a transition from a mid-high to a high school situation. They can start as freshmen, and we can kind of raise them, nurture them along the way,
Sure.
and help them.
You have seen some pre-enrollment figures.
Yes.
What does it look like overall?
Well, my basic acting course has 110 people enrolled in
goodness.
it, and I think we'll have, I don't see how there's any possible way we can have a class that
Unless you put on Ben-Hur, and we don't have the track for it.
Yeah,
My goodness.
that's a classroom situation, and
Wow.
an ideal classroom situation in an acting class is 15 to 25.
Yes,
And
110 students.
I don't know how we're going to work with that, around that, but I'm sure we'll find some way to try to accommodate as many people as we can.
Absolutely. Randy, I am so proud of what you guys have done.
Thank you.
And it's wonderful to see not only what we've done for the students, but the fact that you and Dr. Ballard and Mrs. Hemphill work so closely together for the good of the students. And I know that you spend an enormous amount of time in the evenings and on weekends, virtually every weekend. I've told people before, and I really believe this, that I don't know anyone who has to be more dedicated to the time that they spend with students than the people who are involved in the fine arts, particularly the theater area and speech area. So congratulations to you, and thank you. And good luck on your play.
Thank you.
And the dates for that play are?
April 24th and 25th. It'll be a 7:30 show for the public, and we're looking forward. Tickets are $4
Here at Norman High School.
here at Norman High School.
Be a wonderful production.
We're looking forward to
And
it.
if people have not been to that production, they need to come
Yes,
to
they
see
do.
what a wonderful group we have at Norman High School. It will surprise them at the maturity of their
Oh, they do
level of
wonderful.
performance. It's great. Thank you, Randy, for being part of us today, and I appreciate all the work that you do for us.
Thank you.
And thank you for being with us, and we have focused on the fine arts.
Teachers, it's finally time to throw away your pens, pencils, and those nasty grade books, because it's time for you to upgrade. You heard me right. On Opening Doors this week, Ms. Kramer will be discussing new computer gradebook programs. It should ease your time. Let's take a look.
The wheel, the printing press, the calculator. Sometimes a new technology will change the way the whole world operates. But few and far between are the technological advancements that truly change the way teachers teach. We still use the book, the chalkboard, and maybe the overhead projector. But there is a technology that has changed the way teachers keep records of grades and attendance: the electronic gradebook. Making the Grade is the Macintosh version of the famous program Gradebusters 1-2-3, which has been around for a long time and which incidentally placed second in the nation for Program of the Decade back in the 80s. This 90s Macintosh version is the fastest, friendliest, and most reliable classroom tool that I have ever found. It was written by Jay Klein, an AP English teacher in Colorado Springs and a finalist as their state teacher of the year. Jay knew what teachers needed and wanted in a gradebook program, and he delivered. Making the Grade solves two of the most pressing problems in every teacher's professional life: fast, fair, accurate assessment of student academic progress, and the clear, effective communication of that information to students, parents, and administrators. The Norman Public Schools Technology Committee's goal of a computer in every classroom is becoming a reality. Thanks to a grant written by Kathy Buchwald, the Language Arts Coordinator, every mid-high English teacher has a Macintosh computer and a Making the Grade program. But all teachers can use the program. Some teachers check out a laptop computer from their site's lab to update their grades in their classroom, or they take it home. Other teachers simply go to their computer lab to use the program. And others use the program on their home computers. These programs also exist for IBM-compatible computers. Soon, I hope, all teachers will be using this gradebook program or one like it for their record keeping. What are the advantages of this? Accuracy and speed are the most obvious. It's only a matter of minutes, not hours, to enter a new set of grades, and then as soon as they are recorded, the new percentage is automatically computed. Hit a button, print a report. Post the grades by student ID numbers to protect the student's privacy, and students are constantly updated about the status of their grades. Ineligibility lists are a snap to generate. Using an electronic gradebook making program, such as Making the Grade, can save an enormous amount of time and energy for the teacher. There is literally no hand record keeping. The program offers every teacher document you could ever want, and some that you don't. Print out your own gradebook instead of filling one in. Hit a button and the program will keep your attendance. It'll shuffle kids for cooperative learning groups and even design your seating charts. Students and parents both appreciate the clear communication of progress reports. The program can list all assignments chronologically with annotations and descriptions so that everyone understands how grades were assigned. Making the Grade was designed by a teacher for teachers in the real world. It does everything for us but grade our papers and plan our lessons. It's extremely user-friendly for those of us who don't know and frankly don't want to know how computers work. If I can learn to use this gradebook program, anybody can. The Technology Pro Cadre has offered workshops in how to use Making the Grade and other programs, and will continue to offer them. And to my colleagues out there who still aren't using electronic gradebooks, I say, get with the program. The Making the Grade program will change your life for the better. For Opening Doors, I'm Linda Kramer.
Well, that's all the time we have for today on District Directions. So for Channel 29, I'm Lawrence Bothwell. Have a good night.